Welcome to the 12th Horseshoe podcast, sponsored by Provo, an Italian eatery of Moonachie, New Jersey. From Indiana University, that's Jack Rizzo. And from good old Jersey, I'm Elijah Weintraub. We thank you for joining us for this great day. We have our week one recap coming up in just a few moments, and then we are going to take a look at the week two picks. And Jacksonville, Indiana, ready, as you could tell. And how's Indiana?
Oh, it's been great. We have a football game tonight at 6:30. It's gonna be really fun. We were playing a really bad team, Indiana State, but it's gonna be a fun time.
Of course, and you went to a game, I believe, last week, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or was it the week before? Do you want to tell us about that game?
This is actually this is actually the third game I'm going to, straight week. Yeah, we're 2-0. We're ranked 22nd in the AP poll. We're doing good so far. I think we have a chance to get college game day here next week when we play Illinois, who's top 10.
Are you going to get up at 12 in the morning to be there?
Not 12, but I'll be there really early. But yeah, it's great though.
I'm really do get up early for that.
I'm loving Bloomington. I'm loving IU. Eli, how are you enjoying Seton Hall so far?
Seton Hall is really good. I have a lot of stuff upcoming, and just can't wait to continue to roll with this career and stuff.
That's great. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. If you do go to college game day, and if they are there next week, get up at 9 p.m. at night for the show at 9 in the morning the next day.
Yeah. It seems like people have finally figured out the kicking contest and how to get it. They've been practicing, I think.
It's been really good, though. I've been impressed.
Yeah, we've had almost $500,000 raised in 2 games.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough about college. Let's head over to the NFL, where we had a crazy week one set of games. And let's just say this before we get into talking about every game. Every primetime game, minus the YouTube game, was intense, boring in the beginning, but crazy and fun at the end. That was for sure. The Thursday night game had a wild beginning and a crazy ending. The Sunday night game was just the best game, I think, the week, honestly. And then you had the Vikings game on Monday night, and that just got even better. And so let's go right ahead and start diving into all these games. Well, we talked about the Eagles and the Cowboys in last week's show. 24-20 was the final. Philadelphia took the victory there. Let's go right into now the Chiefs and the Chargers, and that game was in Brazil. And the Chiefs lost that game 27-21. What went wrong in that game, Jack?
Yeah, it was a rough one for Kansas City, but you got to give a lot of credit to Justin Herbert and the way he played. He had 3 touchdown passes. Quentin Johnston had 2 of them. Keenan Allen, first game back with the Chargers, looked really, really good. And I think the biggest thing to take note of in this game was how bad Kansas City's defense played. I mean, this has been the strength of their team for the last couple of years now. The offense has kind of switched into like a dink and dunk offense, just an offense with these time-killing drives, and the defense would kind of bail them out. But the defense did not play well against the Chargers offense. And the Chiefs, there's reason to be concerned, especially about the offense, because, Rashee Rice is only 1 game into a 6-game suspension. Xavier Worthy had a shoulder injury in that game. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. But overall, Eli, a really impressive first win for the LA Chargers. Justin Herbert looked great, and the Chargers can certainly be a dangerous team this year in the AFC.
They definitely do seem like a dangerous team to watch out for. And if you look at the AFC West, though, for a second, but minus Kansas City, you have a win for the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. They all have wins under their belt. And that goes to show you how tough a division the West of the AFC is going to be if Kansas City were to lose these next couple of games. Obviously, Kansas City will likely still be the king of the world in the NFL and make the playoffs. But you got to watch out because these 3 teams right behind the AFC West look very good to watch out for. That's for sure. And it was also the first YouTube broadcast game, which was pretty exciting for fans because it was a free game.
And everything went well for the stream.
It really went well.
Issues.
There was no issues, like you said. Let's go to the next game. Buccaneers took on the Falcons, and the Buccaneers just barely got the win there, 23-20. A great game, but the Buccaneers on top once more.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned that for the Chiefs game that we both got the pick wrong. This game, we both got the pick right. This is a tough game to pick, but we both picked Tampa Bay. You mentioned it, Eli. It was a really, really fun and entertaining game, especially the fourth quarter. I mean, we saw that Falcons drive, their last drive of the game. Michael Penix having 2 ridiculous dives, 1 on 4th down and then 1 into the end zone on 4th and goal to give Atlanta the lead. But the real story in this game was Emeka Egbuka, the rookie wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from Ohio State, with 2 touchdown catches from Baker Mayfield, and ultimately caught the game winner with a minute left. But the Falcons got into field goal range, and then Younghoe Koo missed like a 44-yard field goal, which would have sent it to overtime. But it was a great game, Eli. I definitely think that these will be the two best teams in the NFC South this year, and it's a really good and strong opening win for Tampa Bay. Division wins are week one; you can't really beat that. It gives you huge advantage when we get to the playoffs down the road, and a really nice opening day win for the Bucs.
1000%. And the next game, which was shockingly close, was the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals took the victory there 17-16, but the Browns had some life in this game for a second. They could have won the game. Obviously, they didn't, but there was a chance. But the Bengals just barely got through. And should we be concerned about Joe Burrow and the Bengals at all?
I don't think so, because this is just how they play in week one every year. They are terrible in week one every year. And I really wasn't surprised. I mean, I took the Browns to win this game. I knew that they were going to be in the game, and they should have won the game. To your credit, Eli, you did have the Bengals winning, but a crazy back and forth game. Lots of defense in this game. I mean, the Bengals only had 113 yards of passing all game, and Joe Flacco looks pretty good for being 40 years old now. Browns defense, Myles Garrett had an incredible game. And if it weren't for a couple of drops from the receivers, a couple of missed kicks from the Browns, they'd be sitting here 1-0 with a big division win. There's definitely reason, though, to be concerned about the Bengals. I mean, you have a much tougher opponent coming in this week who's 1-0. We'll talk about that game in a second. But definitely reason to be concerned about the Cincinnati Bengals. But also at the same time, a nice showing from the Cleveland Browns in a year where not many people are expecting them to be that good.
1000%. And by the way, since we've been talking about the picks, I went 12-4 this week on picks. Jack went 9-7. I also went 3-0 on Lock, Survivor, and Upset. Jack went 2-1. He got his upset wrong, but he got the Survivor and Lock correct. So that was a win for me, at least.
12-4 is very impressive, especially week one when the games are so unpredictable. So that's very good that you went 12-4.
Usually week one, I'm always pretty good, but then week two hits, and you're going to see a bunch of losses next week. I guarantee you, despite similar picks, because that's just how week two always is. It's always
we both went 6-10 in week two last year, just for reference.
Exactly. Because the show really, like, week two was always a rough week for me. So let's see how rough it is this week. This is a no surprise game, but at least they put up 10 points. Jaguars took care of business over the Panthers 26-10. I'm not surprised. I mean, the Panthers have to make a lot more changes than we think. And what do we think overall, though, about Jacksonville? I mean, this was a pretty big win for them. I mean, 26 points on the board. I mean, it's not a big win because they played Carolina, but in a sense that you have a new wide receiver, cornerback, and Travis Hunter. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this game was really never in doubt from the start. It was just a really well-played game by the Jacksonville Jaguars. I thought their defense was the strong suit in this game. They gave the Panthers offense absolutely nothing during this game. This was actually one of 3 games in week one that was affected by the weather. There was a rain delay for a little over an hour in the second quarter, but that had no effect on the Jaguars. They were strong before the rain delay, and they were strong after the rain delay. The Panthers were not strong at all in this game. I will say, though, Eli, the Panthers receiving duo, Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter, really didn't do that much in week one. And I think part of the reason for that is because many people probably don't know this, but the Jaguars passing game coordinator is a guy by the name of Shane Waldron, who you might know, Eli, because he used to be the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks, and he was really bad. I mean, you guys fired him because he was that bad.
Not bad, of course.
And then he was the Bears offensive coordinator last year, and the Bears were terrible last year. So it might just be a Shane Waldron effect, but I'd like to see the Jaguars get their receiving duo going, maybe get some more consistency. It was a nice sign to see Travis Etienne have a really good game, but the Jags are going to have a much tougher opponent next week, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. So they've got to get things going. This is a great win, but they've got to turn the page quickly.
Absolutely. And the next game let's talk about here is the Commanders-Giants. Commanders took the victory 21-6. But the biggest question of the day is, when does Jackson Dart start? That's the biggest question to ask right now. Well, because Russell Wilson's performance was, as expected, not good. That's the question.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll ignore what happened in the game last night. We'll just look at this from a week one perspective. The Commanders' defense played very well. I mean, to be fair, the Giants don't have much on offense, and this is not going to be a hot take, or this is going to be a hot take. I'm sorry. I wouldn't start Jackson Dart. And why do I say that? It's not because of Jackson Dart. It's because of that O-line. He's going to get killed behind that O-line. That O-line is one of the worst in the league. Fair. Russell Wilson's not a good quarterback, but it was not all his fault that they lost this game. He had no time to throw. To be fair, he could have played better, but the O-line could have also played better. I will say
That's good.
the Giants defense did actually look pretty good in this game. The Commanders offense took a while to get going. It was nice to see Deebo Samuel have a really good game. First game with the Washington Commanders, and they had a strong performance at home. But the Giants, it's just going to be a lost season for them. But on the Commander side, they definitely got some things they need to work on, and that showed in the game last night, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Well, let's go to the next game, which it was a disappointing day to be a Dolphins fan, but a great day to be an Indianapolis Colts fan. As who was the quarterback once again? Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes,
The
Indiana
question
Jones.
is, could he be the best quarterback right now if they win again this weekend versus Denver? If they do, there'll be a lot of thoughts about Danny Dimes being number one for sure, because that would be one story to tell. Uh, Going from New York to Indianapolis, but the final score of that game, 33-8. I got the pick wrong. Jack got it right. But is Danny Dimes the best quarterback right now for the Indianapolis Colts? And what are your thoughts on it?
All right, well let's get back to business here. I mean, this is just a great win for the Colts. It's their first Week 1 win in 12 years, which is just crazy to think about. But similar to the Jacksonville game, this game was never in doubt from the start. The Colts just dominated. They scored on all 7 possessions in this game. That's the first time that's happened in the NFL since 1978, which is pretty crazy to think about. The Colts really didn't have anything go wrong for them in this game. Daniel Jones did his part, looked really good doing it. They ran the ball well. They turned the Dolphins over 3 times on defense. And, there's a lot to be concerned about with Miami. Like, I don't really know what happens here. I mean, Tua did not look good in this game.
No, he did not.
Mike McDaniel is probably in danger of his job. I mean, like, they've just looked really, really bad. And overall, what a win for the Indianapolis Colts at home and on the day they honored their late owner, Jim Irsay. Just a perfect day for all Colts fans to celebrate a Week 1 win.
And how do you feel so far about Danny Dimes? I mean, it's only been Week 1, but do you think he is potential for this team going forward?
I mean, listen, he is not. This is the first time we've seen him play with a good O-line. That he never had one with the Giants. And he looked really good. I mean, he only took 1 sack. He basically was protected all game. He made the throws he needed to. He took some shots, hit those as well. He's not going to play like this every week. The Colts are not going to score on all 7 drives every week. But if Daniel Jones can just avoid turning the ball over and be accurate and be consistent, the Colts have a chance to win the AFC South this year for sure.
Absolutely. In the next game on the menu, we'll talk about how about Geno Smith and Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders going to New England, getting the job done and winning 20-13 the final. I got that pick right. It was my upset pick. Jack had to pick wrong, but this was a surprise, I think, to a lot of people, seeing possibly the Raiders get a big victory like that in New England. And New England was favored most of the game by 2.5 entering the game. So is this a surprise? Are the Raiders going to be a good team to watch out for, or is it maybe just a wake-up call? What do we see in that game, Jack?
I mean, I'm all in on the Pete Carroll, Geno Smith hype train for this season. I think the Raiders are a really underrated football team, and they played really well on Sunday. I love the way their defense played. They've got some nice weapons on offense. I mean, Brock Bowers, 5 catches over 100 yards. Ashton Jeanty didn't even run the ball that well. Once they get him going, that offense is going to be that much better. And it was really impressive going cross-country, winning that game in the pouring rain. A really nice showing from the Raiders in Week 1. Rough one for the Patriots. I mean, their defense played solid. They've got a lot of stuff they have to work on. And I do like the Patriots this season. I think Mike Vrabel's a great coach, and I think they will be able to figure things out. It might just take some time, but a really nice opening Sunday win for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they could surprise some people this season. I like Geno Smith, I like Pete Carroll, and I like the team as a whole.
Absolutely. This is another game that really was, I guess you could say, a surprise. The Cardinals defeat the Saints, but only by 20-13 the score. What are we thinking here? I mean, is the Saints potential? Do they have potential here? What about the Cardinals? What do we think about this, Jack?
Yeah, this is just one of these like weird Week 1 games where it was close when it shouldn't have been. The Cardinals did not play that bad where they should have only won by 7. The offense played fine. The defense played pretty good. The Saints kind of just had that like home field advantage, some of that, grittiness that allowed them to stay in this game. But I thought the Cardinals overall played well. Kyler Murray looked pretty good. Marvin Harrison looks good. James Conner is always great. The defense, I think, has some nice pieces. Good job by the Saints, though, showing fight in this game. Spencer Rattler played fine. I think the Cardinals are still a pretty good team, and I think they'll be fine. It's just Week 1. Sometimes these Week 1 games are closer than they look on paper. And I think the Cardinals are going to have a chance to have a really good season, and especially with a relatively easy game they have next week, which we'll talk about once we get to the predictions for week 2.
Absolutely. And let's go to the next game, which was possibly the best game of the 1 o'clock window. The
It
Steelers
was.
and the Jets. Aaron Rodgers heads back to MetLife Stadium. Justin Fields gets the start for the Jets. And the Jets looked like a promising team. Everything was going very well. But then it happened. Pittsburgh won the game. Final score 34-32. And I got to say, if you're a Jets fan, you shouldn't be disappointed because they actually played pretty well. It just came down to, a couple of mistakes at the end. But on the other hand, the Steelers, is this a promising run that we're going to be seeing with Aaron Rodgers? Is this just the beginning, or is this just week one? All right, let's do it for Aaron Rodgers, but then let's see how we really play next week.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better, Eli. I was very impressed with the way the Jets played on Sunday. The offense looked really good. Justin Fields looked as comfortable as I've ever seen him throwing the football. Garrett Wilson had I think he actually had 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. Justin Fields had 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't think anyone was expecting this game to be a high-scoring shootout like it was. I mean, these are 2 pretty good defenses, and neither of the defenses played that well. I will say, how about that play at the end of the game? Jalen Ramsey on 4th down with that massive hit to end the football game. Jalen Ramsey is one of the only football players who does so much trash talking, but he backs up everything he says, and he sure did that on Sunday. He did. He absolutely did. It was a great game. I think the Jets have quite a lot of promise. I think Aaron Glenn's going to be a really good head coach, more so than Ben Johnson, the other coordinator the Lions lost. Justin Fields looked really good. And week 1, weird week. The Jets have a tough one next week, but I think this is a team that, unlike in previous years, they're not going to be a cakewalk every week. Like they're gonna show fight every week, and they have a chance to have a much better season than they have the last couple of years.
All right. Well, a game that was surprisingly close when it shouldn't have. The Broncos defeated the Titans by a score of only 20-12. Are we going to question the Tennessee Titans? Could they potentially show some potential this season? Did the Broncos just fall asleep? What happened, really?
No, the Broncos just fell asleep. The Titans did not look good in this game. I mean, Cam Ward was fine, but the receivers really stalled him. The O-line was terrible. The Broncos just played down to the Titans. I mean, they turned the ball over 4 times. It's, you turn the ball over 4 times and you still win by 8. I mean, I think that says a lot about how bad the Tennessee Titans are. They couldn't even find the end zone in this game. It was a rough one. But credit to the Broncos defense. As I said, I think they're the best defense in the league. They showed that on Sunday. Bo Nix didn't really play that well, but he made the plays when he needed to. Had a touchdown late in the first half. The Broncos had a clutch drive in the 4th quarter. I think the Broncos will be fine. I think it's just week 1. They might need some time to gel the offense together, but yeah, definitely a bit of a shocker that this game was so close. But credit to the Broncos with how tough of a game they had. They still found a way to pull through.
Yeah, they did, and we both got that pick right. By the way, the previous game, Jack had the pick wrong with the Jets. I had the Steelers, so we were 1-1 in that one. We go to the Seahawks now. They lose to the 49ers, 17-13. Brock Purdy is now scheduled to miss a couple of games now. We've learned. But for Seattle, though, the offensive problems on the offense, the list goes on and on with the problems that they had on offense. It was just a rough day to be on the offensive side of things. Defense looked pretty decent out there, but the offense had a lot of trouble. There was fumbles. There were just the O-line had trouble. There was just trouble all around for Seattle on the offensive side, and that's what ultimately led us to lose that game, which should have been possibly a win for us. And now it's going to be a tough competition next week with Pittsburgh coming into town.
Yeah, I agree, Eli. I mean, I thought Seattle's defense played incredibly well in this game. I mean, we know how good Seattle's defense is. They're one of the best defenses in the league. And I do think that Mike McDonald's a very good head coach. But you're right, it's a tough one to swallow. I mean, the 49ers had 2 turnovers, they missed 2 field goals, and they still found a way to win this game. I mean, you could correct me, Eli. I don't think Sam Darnold really looked that bad.
No, he wasn't too bad. It's just everything else in the offense.
I think the offensive line was rough. I mean, JSN had lost a fumble in the 4th quarter, which really hurt them.
Which was shocking.
It was really weird fumble at the end of the game that lost them the game, which I don't think was Sam Darnold's fault. I think it was just like a weird play.
Yeah.
I think Seattle will be fine. I think it's week 1. The 49ers are a tough division opponent. I still like the Seahawks this season. And credit to the 49ers with all the injuries they had, and they still found a way to win the game. But they're hurt by injuries, though. Brock Purdy's out for multiple weeks. George Kittle's probably going to be on injured reserve with the hamstring. So certainly already some challenges the 49ers are going to have to face over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And now we go to the Lions and the Packers, which was there was quote unquote they said the best game of the afternoon, but the score didn't really show that. 27-13 was the final. The Packers, though, they looked really, really good. And we're going to talk more about the Packers Commanders game in a little bit. But the Packers game in week one, the Lions showed promising signs, considering that this Lions team was essentially one of the best. And now the Packers took control.
Yeah, Eli, the Packers dominated this game. The scary thing is that Micah Parsons played less than 30 snaps in this game. Just think about when he's fully healthy, how dangerous this team is going to be. The defense played great. They were incredible in this game. Jordan Love didn't really honestly have to do that much because of how good the rest of the team was, but he had 2 touchdown passes, one to Tucker Kraft, one to Jaden Reed. Josh Jacobs continued his touchdown streak. He got it to 9. He actually got it to 10 last night, which we'll talk about in a bit. And the Packers defense, oh my goodness, what a game they had. Against a very formidable Lions offense. I think the Lions will be fine. I think they need some time to grow. And I think this was more the Packers just being really good than the Lions being really bad in this game. We do have to talk about that one touchdown, though, that the Lions had late in that game. That incredible one-handed catch on the side of the end zone from Isaac Kisla. Awesome. Yeah, first ever catch in the NFL, and it was a remarkable play. It made the score look better than it was, but this was completely dominated by the Green Bay Packers. And I think Packer fans have so much reason to be excited about this season and what kind of team they're going to have.
1000%. The Rams, on the other hand, they took a victory over the Texans, which made the Texans, I guess, a little disappointed. The final score, though, an odd one, 14-9. And it was a weird game for sure for both these teams, but the Rams pulled through and they got the victory in that one. I got the pick wrong. Jack got it right. What went right for the Rams?
Well, we talked about it last week. This game was going to be all about the Rams D-line getting pressure on C.J. Stroud, and that's exactly what they did. I have many, many concerns about this Houston Texans O-line. The rest of their team's very good. I mean, the Texans defense played great on Sunday. I didn't think C.J. Stroud really looked that bad, but the O-line just got killed by the Rams front seven, which is really good. The Rams also forced 2 turnovers. One was an interception. One was a forced fumble late in the game. The Rams Puka Nacua is incredible. I mean, Puka Nacua is in the conversation for being one of the best receivers in the league now. He might be top 5 now. And the Rams overall just had a really strong showing. And I'm really excited for this Rams team this year. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. But I also think the Texans are going to be fine too. I think it's week 1. I still like C.J. Stroud. I like Nico Collins. I like their defense. So it was a really good game between 2 teams who I definitely think we'll see in the playoffs this year. And ultimately, the Rams came out on top at home.
The next game on the list was the best game of the week by far. You couldn't even question it. It was boring all along, and then the fourth quarter happened. It's like, what happens to the Bills? Well, the fourth quarter, 4 minutes, that's enough time for Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, to do some magic. 41-40 was the final. Buffalo comes back and wins the game. 16 points added in the fourth quarter, 4-minute mark. What a game. You had the Ravens, which was wrong, but great pick, though. And I had the Bills, which was correct. But what a game. What an ending. I fell asleep, but I'm sure you probably stood up for that one and saw that.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, it was a fun one, Eli. This could go down as regular season game of the decade with how well it went. Okay. It's not going to be game of the decade because really nothing can top the Bills-Chiefs playoff game from a couple of years ago. All that back and forth in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Oh, yeah.
But this game was pretty close to it. I mean, you had the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFL going at it against each other. So much back and forth. I mean, Derrick Henry looks like he did not age at all. The Bills had some crazy plays that kept them in the game. But there is reason to be concerned, though, Eli, about the Ravens and their ability to hold big leads. I mean, they showed a graphic of all the double-digit leads they've blown over the last 10 years or so. It's a question of, can John Harbaugh get this team together? Can they finally start to win these big games? And that's reason for them to be concerned once January comes around. And also, I think you're reason to be concerned about the Bills. I mean, their defense gave up 40 points. The Bills' defense has cost them in the playoffs. But for week 1, this game was absolutely incredible. The NFL had a home run by having this be the opening game of Sunday Night Football this year. So much back and forth. I mean, it was crazy, Eli. I mean, it was absolutely an insane game. I mean, we had DeAndre Hopkins with a one-handed catch in the end zone. We had Josh Allen. We had Josh Allen put up 40 fantasy points. I mean, there was so much crazy stuff that happened in this game, and both of these teams are going to have great seasons, and I would love if this were the AFC Championship game this year, but we'll have to see what happens.
We'll have to only wait and see. But if you thought one comeback was not enough, well, we got number 2 for you. The Vikings come back. They win the game 27-24. Now, this wasn't such a, like as you say, the best game compared to the Buffalo game, but they came back and they won the game. And the Vikings took the victory there 27-24. I got the pick right. Jack got it wrong. But what are your thoughts on it? Another comeback.
Well, this game it looked like it was going to be the Bears game for 3 quarters. Then J.J. McCarthy remembered who he was and just had a remarkable fourth quarter performance with 3 touchdowns. I mean, he is the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Now, should he have won that? Probably not. I will say that. Probably not. It's mainly just off vibes. That's why he won it. But it was a resilient performance. I mean, 2 passing touchdowns to take the lead. Then a great call by Kevin O'Connell for the rushing touchdown. That was a great play call. And the Vikings just looked like, I mean, their defense played great after that first drive by the Bears. And I don't really know what to think about the Bears this season. I don't think they're really going to have that great of a year. I think it's going to take some time. And I think the Vikings just had a great game. And I don't think I think the Vikings have the chance to have a very good season and possibly go back to the playoffs, especially if J.J. McCarthy's going to play the way he did in that fourth quarter. And winning on the road in week 1's not easy. It's not easy in prime time, but the Vikings found a way to do it. And it was really, really impressive.
The last game to recap was last night's game. The Commanders lose badly to the Packers 27-18. Little disappointment there for the Washington Commanders. On the other hand, though, we just proved once again how well the Packers played and how well the team that this Packers is. This is week 2, by the way, this game. Jack?
Yeah, this game was last night. The score doesn't really reflect this game. This game was dominated by the Green Bay Packers. The Commanders had no chance. I mean, Jaden Daniels looked fine, but he didn't really have much time to throw. Packers secondary was just locked down on all the Commanders receivers. They couldn't really run the ball. It sucks for Austin Eckler. We believe he tore his Achilles last night.
I know.
It really stinks for him, but also the Commanders defense didn't look good either. And then on the Packers side, I mean, Jordan Love played great. Tucker Kraft, the tight end, 6 catches, 124 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Reed did break his collarbone. He's going to be out for probably 2 months. That hurts as well for Green Bay. But overall, a really strong win from the Packers. I mean, they beat 2 playoff teams from last year in this first 5 days of the season. That's the first time that's ever happened in the history of the NFL, which is crazy that happened. And yeah, overall strong win from the Packers. Are 2-0, and they look like a really dangerous team.
Let's get to week 2 picks, Jack. We switched mics.
Alrighty, let's do it. So we're both 1-0 in the week. Let's head to the Sunday afternoon slot. It is a packed 1 o'clock slot. There are 9 games taking place at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We will start off with the CBS slate, and we'll start off with an AFC North matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams are 0-1. Both these teams lost by 1 point, actually, funny enough. The Ravens are favored by 11.5 at home this week. That's by far the biggest point spread of the week. This game's really not in doubt for me. I'm going with the Ravens 31-14. I think this is a pretty easy one for me. The Ravens looked great last week, even though they lost. I mean, their defenses can't play that bad again. They're not going to blow a lead to Joe Flacco and the Browns. It's a bit of a revenge game, but I like the Ravens to win this game. I feel good about it. So, yeah, give me the Ravens. How about you, Eli?
Majority of the game last week, the Ravens looked great. And if they can't win this weekend, we have some questions to ask the Baltimore Ravens. I have to go with Baltimore 30-18. Lock it up for the week.
All right, I like it. Next up, a battle of 1-0 here. And on the other another team in Ohio we're going to talk about, the Jaguars facing the Bengals in Cincinnati, 1 p.m. CBS. The Bengals are favored by 3.5 in this one. I am going to take the Bengals here to win 28-20. I think the Bengals offense is going to play much better. The Jags looked great last week, but it is the Panthers. I think the Bengals take care of business at home and go to 2-0. How about you, Eli?
I think the Bengals got the victory here, 24-22. Don't be surprised if this game becomes close based off the way the Bengals played last week. So I got to go with the Bengals in this one, 24-22. Don't be surprised if it's close.
Alrighty, moving to South Florida, the Patriots play the Dolphins, 1 p.m. on CBS. Miami is actually the favorite here by 2.5, despite their dreadful performance last week. This is going to be an interesting game. It's going to be rough for one of these teams to start 0-2, but I thought the Patriots looked much better than the Dolphins did last week. So because of that, I'm going to take New England here, 16-14, low-scoring game, but they knock off the Dolphins.
If the Patriots cannot win this game, then the Patriots are going to be – it's going to be a long road ahead for the Patriots the rest of the season.
Yep.
Dolphins, on the other hand, too, if they don't win this game, then it goes to show you the season is officially over. I'm going to go with the Patriots in a very odd but interesting score, 21-15.
I like it. Next up, the Bills taking on the Jets, 1 p.m. on CBS. Buffalo favored by 6.5 here. This is a bit of an interesting game, but you know what? I think the Bills, after a strong week one performance, I think they calm down a little bit, get everything back together, and play a much better four-quarter game against the Jets. I'm going with Buffalo, 34-17. I don't think Justin Fields is going to have that good of a game again, and I don't think the Bills' defense is as bad as they showed in week one, so I think Buffalo wins pretty comfortably here. How about you, Eli?
I also think that Buffalo gets a victory, but I think it's going to be a high scoring game and a close game. 32-28. Give me Buffalo.
You like 32. You like 32-28 and 24-22. Those are
Yeah,
like
I
your
do.
runner-ups to the Eli score.
Yeah.
Next up, the Rams taking on the Titans in Nashville, 1 p.m. on CBS. Cam Ward gets his first home start as a member of the Tennessee Titans. The Rams are the favorites by 5.5 points. I'm taking the Rams here pretty comfortably. 20-10. It's my lock of the week. Yeah, Cam Ward has no chance against this defense. He had no chance against the Broncos defense, and he is going to have no chance against this defense. And also, the Rams are not going to turn it over 4 times like the Broncos did to make it seem like a close game. So the Rams win easily, 28-10.
Don't be surprised if this is another close game again, although I do believe the Rams should win this game. I take the Rams 22-18. Again, don't be surprised if this game becomes close or if we see an interesting score change in the winner.
Next up, let's go to Dallas. Giants Cowboys, 1 p.m. on Fox. The Cowboys are favored by 5.5 here. Both these teams coming off divisional losses in week one. I like the Cowboys to win this game 26-14. I think they're just going to play a much stronger game. The Giants offense looked really bad last week. I just cannot trust Russell Wilson to help them win games. So I think it's a pretty easy win here for the Dallas Cowboys, especially at home.
I think it's going to be a 23-20. Dallas gets the victory, another close game, and a little bit of a low scoring one, in my opinion.
Yep, and that was my survivor. I think I might have mentioned that, but I don't remember. Yeah. All right, cool. Next up, another divisional matchup: the Bears and the Lions, the Ben Johnson revenge game. It's a 1 p.m. on Fox. Kickoff. We have been over the Fox lead. Excuse me. Detroit favored by 6 points. I'm going to take the Lions here, 24-20. I know they didn't play well last week, but I think being back home in Detroit will motivate them. I think the Bears still need a little more time to gel, so I'm going to take the Lions here. I think they get back on track this week.
Bears played a really good game last week, but I think the Lions are home. They're going to wake up a little bit, and that's why I'm going to take the Lions to win 26-20 by 6 points.
Next up, oh boy, this is going to be a rough one. The 49ers and the Saints, 1 p.m. on Fox. Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler. Unless you're an Alabama or South Carolina fan, I'm not sure if you're going to be watching this game or if you're a Niners or Saints fan, I guess. The Niners are favored by 3, and I'm going to take the Niners. Low-scoring game, 16-13. There's not going to be much offense in this game. Both these defenses are going to shine. Give me the Niners.
I'm picking the Niners. I pick them to win 21-12. I see them going to 3 touchdowns, and that's being generous. But if the Saints do win this game, it won't be a surprise because of the injuries with San Francisco. But it'll be also a little bit of a shock in a way because we didn't expect them to win this early on, as you will. But I'm going with the Niners.
Let's move on to the final game of the 1 p.m. slot. The Seahawks traveling to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers. Seattle 0-1, Pittsburgh 1-0. The Steelers are the 3-point favorites here, but I'm not so sure about that. I'm going with the upset here. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to go on the road and knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-17. I don't think Aaron Rodgers and the offense are going to play that well again. I still am a huge fan of the Seattle defense, and I feel like the Steelers may be riding high after the week 1 win. They might overlook this game a bit, and I think Seattle gets back on track with a 20-17 win. How about you, Eli?
Watch out for that Seattle defense. I don't know about so much about the offense, but that Seattle defense you have to watch out for, and I don't think that Pittsburgh is going to be ready. For my upset pick of the week with the Eli special 26-23, give me the Seattle Seahawks.
Love it. Let's move on to the 4 o'clock slot. Now, there's only 3 games in this window this week. 4:05 on CBS, the Panthers facing the Cardinals in the desert. The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites, and I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals 31-20. I think the Cardinals are a really good football team. I think Kyler Murray and the offense are going to feast against a really rough Carolina defense, and yeah, give me the Cardinals to win this game.
Give me Arizona 28-18. Give that also my survivor pick of the week. I really have a lot of faith in this Arizona team.
Very good. We both used our survivors on the Cardinals already. Next up, the Broncos facing the Indianapolis Colts, 4:05 on CBS. I'm super excited for this game. Yeah, it's a great game. A 1-0 versus 1-0. It is a whiteout game for the Indianapolis Colts.
You going to the game?
I am not. I will be at the game in a couple weeks when my family's out here, and we're going to go to that game. So the Broncos are the 2.5-point favorites here. This is going to be a defensive game for sure. But I am worried about the Colts, and they have two injuries in their secondary, which I'm a bit worried about. And I don't think the Broncos are going to be that bad again next week. It's going to be a very close game, but I think the Broncos beat the Colts 20-17. That hurts me to say, but the Broncos are the better football team, as we all know. So I'm going to take the Broncos by 3.
Broncos are the better team in this game, so I'm going to have to pick them 24-22. But if Indianapolis comes out and win this game, watch out for this Indianapolis team.
Exactly. I'm super excited for the game. I won't be bummed if we lose, though, because you know what? We won in week 1, and 1-1 after the first 2 weeks is not bad at all.
But if they do win, it will be exciting, though. That really would
It will be exciting.
And I do that. There won't be surprised either. I mean, Broncos didn't look the best last week, so anything's possible.
Next up, game of the week right here, a Super Bowl rematch. And it's the lone game in the Fox window at 425. The Eagles are facing the Chiefs in Kansas City. The Eagles are favored by 1.5 here. On paper, the Eagles are definitely the better team. I probably should pick them to win, but I just cannot see the Chiefs starting the season 0-2. I can't see Patrick Mahomes starting the season 0-2. I think the Chiefs will find a way to put it together, and I think they're going to beat the Eagles 21-17. I really do. I still like this Chiefs team. I mean, you got Mahomes, you got Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. The defense is better than they showed last week, and I think the Chiefs ultimately get the win here against the Eagles. How about you, Eli?
See, I think the Chiefs are going to go 0-2. I'm going to go with Philadelphia to win this game 32-28. They looked good last week. Kansas City was not that great in Brazil. For those reasons, I got to go with Philadelphia to win this game 32-28. I think it'll be an interesting game. Philadelphia continues to reign and hold that crown.
Another 32-28 for you, Eli. Very interesting. All right, let's move on to Sunday Night Football now. 8:20 on NBC. It's an interesting game. It's not going to be as good as last week, but we just have to deal with it. The Falcons are facing. Well, actually, it's not even that bad now that I'm reading it. Falcons versus the Vikings, 8:20 on NBC. I am excited to see that. I don't know. The only reason is because the Vikings were on primetime last week. That I might want to see a different team on primetime. But either way, I don't really care. It'll be a good game. I think the Vikings will win though, 24-17. I love this Vikings defense. I like JJ McCarthy. Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in the league. And I think the Vikings ultimately pull out the win here at home.
Vikings get the victory here, 28-26. I expect this game to be close.
Yeah, I do as well. All right, let's move on to a really good doubleheader for Monday Night Football. You got two really good games.
Disappointed that the second game is very late for us in the East Coast.
I am as well, but we'll get to that in a bit. First up, the Buccaneers facing the Texans. This game is a 7 p.m. kickoff on ABC and ESPN. The Texans are favored by 2.5. It's their home opener. The Texans did not look good last week. Their offense played really bad. But with that being said, I think that the Texans are going to find a way to bounce back at home this week. Yeah. They're playing a much worse defense. And I feel like that CJ Stroud and Nico Collins are going to find their rhythm, possibly hook up for a touchdown, maybe 2. And I'm totally not saying that because they're both on my fantasy team and I need them to play well this week. But anyways, I'm going to take the Texans to win 25-22. In a 3-point game. So give me Houston. By the way, before you make your pick, Eli, I have 5 fantasy players playing on Monday night this week. It's like the most random fact ever, I feel like.
Wow, that is super random. And I got it already going Sunday, but yeah, that's very random. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
I'm going to go with Houston. Eli special 26-23. Expect this game, another one, to be close, but it should be an interesting game, actually. I like this game a lot.
We're back to the first year of our picks. Eli would go Texans 26-23 every week. Love it. All right, final game of the week 2 slate. This is another just great game. Last 1-0 battle. There's 4 of them this week. This is the last one. The Chargers facing the Raiders. Unfortunately, this is a 10 p.m. start on ESPN. That really sucks because this is going to be it's going to be a great game. The Chargers are favored by 3.5 here. But you know what? I believe in Pete Carroll. I believe in Geno Smith. And I believe in the Las Vegas Raiders at home. This is my second straight week that my upset of the week is on Monday night. And the Raiders win this game 19-17 over the Chargers and go to 2-0. I feel really good about this one. I really like the Raiders' chances in this game.
I do like the Raiders' chances, but I don't know. I think the Chargers played really well last week, and they're going to win again. Give me the Chargers in a close one, 22-21. But don't be surprised if the Raiders come back and decide to win this game.
All right, well, that is going to do it for our week 1 recap and week 2 picks here on the 12th Horseshoe podcast. Make sure you join Eli on Sports with Mano a Mano tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. right here on Surge Sports TV. Make sure you join us next Friday for our week 2 recap and our week 3 predictions. For Eli Weintraub, Jack Rizzo signing off from the 12th Horseshoe podcast. Go Colts, and we will see you next week.
Go Seahawks. Go Devils. Have a good one.